Welcome everyone, my name is Bleaker, and today we're going to be taking a look at my top 10 Minecraft maps of 2023. I've completed 28 Minecraft maps this year, and I thought, hey, it would be pretty sweet to have all these maps compete in an Olympic-class speedwalking contest. Unfortunately for us, speedwalking is no longer an Olympic-class event, so sorry, but we're going to have to settle for a top 10 list instead. For the Minecraft map to qualify for the list, I had to have played it at some point during the year of 2023. The map didn't necessarily need to be released in 2023. I'll be rating these maps based on the quality of their builds, stories, mechanics, and most importantly, how much I enjoyed playing them. Disclaimer, while I think I've gotten better at rating and critiquing maps, I am no way a professional critic, nor am I going to pretend to be one. Please don't throw me out of the internet for having an opinion. Before we begin, if you are a Minecraft map creator and you would like me to play your creation in the coming year, please send me an email or a Discord message with all the information on your creation. On to the list. Number 10, The Way of Kings by Ben Gelder. You will have to explore a huge, interconnected kingdom, traverse dangerous areas, and fight your way through hordes of enemies and challenging bosses. As a pretender, your duty is to face the old rulers of this world in order to gain enough power to kill the great King Magnus and take his throne. This quest will see you ascend to the kingdom's highest peaks and descend into its darkest corners. Starting off our list, we have a fantastic Dark Souls-inspired adventure map. Don't let the fact this is a Minecraft map fool you. You will die. You will not pass go. You will not collect $200. While this map is beautifully crafted, well put together, and has lore for you to explore, it is hard. This is a Dark Souls-inspired map after all. The boss fights in this game are insane, and are going to provide a challenge even for the most veteran of Dark Souls gamers. You'll find yourself creeping about beautiful set pieces, trying to find the next bonfire, or trying to find the next shortcut unlock, all while being assaulted by new and exciting enemies. Don't let your stamina drop too low. You will die. Trust me. Number 9, Escape the Depths by EPC 1220. You find yourself stuck in a cave with no immediate means of escape. The only way up is down. With the help of the cave's previous habitant, William, you must find a way out as he guides you through the map. The second I played this map, I knew this was going on the top 10 list somewhere. When I play puzzle maps, the greatest concern that I have is that the puzzles will be too complicated, and I'll end up having to do huge leaps in logic to figure out the puzzles, if not straight out cheat. When doing an escape-style map, not only is there the concern that the puzzles will be too complicated, but that I won't be able to find them. That was never the case in Escape the Depths. The map was easy to engage with, and the setting, while vast and populated with many props and areas to explore, I knew within 10 minutes what I had to do to beat this map. Escape maps and puzzle map makers do not win when you can't finish their maps. That's hours and hours of their time wasted crafting narratives and lines of puzzles to solve. They want you to play and finish their creations, and I feel like this map did an excellent job of balancing challenges with ease of engagement, all while residing in this beautiful underground area. I will admit I did peek at a solution towards the end of the map for a puzzle I couldn't figure out, but that's a testament to the map's engagement that I wanted so badly to complete this map that I would peek at an answer to keep moving. Before we continue on, these kinds of videos take a long time, effort, and most of my mental sanity to put together, so if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. It's a small act, but it helps feed the unknowable and incomprehensible YouTube algorithm, which of course helps the channel out a lot. Back to the action. Number 8, Hyperborea by Jake Ruin. Thrown into a mysterious world with a commanding voice telling you to locate Leng. You are tasked with comprehending the incomprehensible and knowing the unknowable. This world is unsettling, uninviting, and wants nothing to do with you. Venture forth and discover the unknown. This is an anomaly on this list, as it really isn't a Minecraft map that you can go out and download, but a map that's hosted on a server, but that doesn't make it any less of a masterpiece. This map has it all. Deep lore, one of the craziest settings I have ever seen for a map ever. Secrets, boss fights, unique items, and many beautiful sights to behold. The combat in this map is excellent. Certain enemies are weak to different combinations of items, stuns, and ranged weapons. You'll use every tool in your arsenal as you run from respawn to respawn. Once you get past the tutorial and make it into the hub area and get into the open world of this map, it is super interesting and super fun to play. Even though the map does become open world, you'll find that once you get on a path, it's super easy to figure out where you're going. Once you're set on a path, there's enough visual indicators to help guide you to your destination. The map really is a textbook example of teaching by showing, teaching by making you engage with the map. I was given the opportunity to sit down with this map maker. A lot of time and energy was put into that show don't tell mentality, and it shows in this creation. Number 7, Temple of the Art by Pete Alpha. Travel through the ancient Mage Academy as you try and defeat the creatures that invaded it along the way. Fight through waves of enemies, with each being harder than the one before it. Fight tons of custom mobs and challenging boss fights that are sure to keep you on your feet. Temple of the Art proves that roguelites are just as viable as horror, adventure, and puzzle maps. This map is an endless supply of content and fun. With over 250 different spells to utilize, every wand build and every cast is unique. With different enemies and modifiers that can appear in the 20 different waves that you'll fight through to win, every run is unique. You'll find secrets, you'll find new NPCs, you'll find puzzles. Every run progresses you towards that ultimate victory as you would expect out of a roguelike. I really had a lot of fun on this map. The crazy combinations of spells that you can make is really what kept me coming back. At one point, I could summon this atomic salmon, which exploded on contact with enemies. Then I got this dual projectile, which meant that 2 atomic salmons were detonating on enemy contact. Even though you don't engage with the environment quite as much as a normal Minecraft map, the combat and the moment-to-moment gameplay is just pure and simple fun. I got the opportunity to sit down with the mapmaker Pete, and I asked, why roguelikes? It's not the usual style of Minecraft maps. His answer was simple. He loves roguelikes, and you can feel that love when you play this map. Number 6, The Monster Hunter by Henry. In a world where humans and ghosts once coexisted in harmony, the balance was shattered with the arrival of the Monster King. As chaos ensued and monstrous creatures roamed unchecked, you joined forces with a ghost named Mabel to hunt down the Monster King and bring an end to his tyranny. A callback to your more classic adventure map. There's a big bad, you don't like him, make him not exist, in a nice and tight 2 to 3 hour adventure map. I love this map. It's quick, beautifully crafted, the story hits all kinds of good emotional beats, and the voice acting is pretty good. Yeah, this whole map is voice acted. And those who know me know I'm a sucker for a well voice acted map. A couple of points I'd like to address is that the combat in this map is your basic Minecraft combat. You have a weapon and a gun that you want to put in the enemy's colons. That's it. But that's all it needs to be. So often I see these maps with grand designs and all these multiple systems and these massive worlds that take 40 hours to complete, and it ultimately proves overwhelming and boring. This map is tight and efficient. You engage with the map and its worlds much more in the environment, the NPCs, and story, and it's a beautiful story, which I won't spoil since I want you to go and play this map. The NPCs, voice acting, and the overarching story really make this map feel alive, and it's a pleasure to engage with. Number 5, Axolotl Adventure by Reking, Slender, and Phantom Eye. Your water has become infested, and it's up to you to traverse multiple biomes and discover a new place to call home. Axolotl Adventure is a fun little 2D side-scrolling adventure map with the cutest little protagonist that you've ever seen, and that's pretty much it. Beautiful environments, a simple quest with an understandable and, more importantly, comprehensible goal, and again, the cutest protagonist ever. Axolotl Adventure isn't grand, and it isn't complicated because it doesn't need to be. This map exists for one reason: entertain you for 30 minutes and leave. There is no grand meaning to be extrapolated. There is no story for you to get invested in. There's no bosses, combat, special rules, nothing. Just simple entertainment at its purest. This map does one thing: side-scrolling through interesting environments, and it does it really well. This map knows its role, it stays in its lane, and it does not divert from that. It's a beautiful example of simple is oftentimes better. Plus, look how good this little guy is. Number 4, Cheap House by the LGSC team. Recently, a serial killer has appeared in the city you live. This stresses you out, and you decide to leave the city. Miraculously, you found a house worth only $10,000. Cheap House is one of the horror maps that just lingers with you even after you're done playing. This map is scary. It's a horror map. That's its job. This map isn't special because it's scary. This map is special because the storyline, setup, and ultimate final reveal that accompanies this map left me so shook that there was no way I couldn't put this map on the list. The setup premise to this map is that you're desperate enough to go against your better instincts, and buy this cheap house, that's clearly not all it seems to be, is a very interesting setup. The story is absolutely brilliant and a completely realistic circumstance that one could find themselves in. Getting into the map, the atmosphere is genuinely unsettling. This map does have a few jump scares in it, but it doesn't need them to set you on edge. Through the whole map, there's this apprehension and setup that this unkillable monster is out to get you. But the restraint in the use of the monster really makes its use all the more memorable. I'm not going to spoil the story, but this is probably one of the strongest aspects of this map. The map, while scary, is a vehicle for this mystery and story that slowly unfolds as you play the map. And when the big reveal towards the end of the map drops, it completely recontextualizes the map and really cements it as one of the best horror map stories I've ever seen. Number 3, Last Light by Huracan. In the heart of the majestic, isolated mountains, your friends embark on a perilous hike in search of adventure and discovery. But when fate traps them within the wild mountains for weeks on end, their expedition turns into a nightmare. That's when you, a courageous and determined soul, are ready to do whatever it takes to find your lost friends. This has been a real standout year for horror maps. Last Light is absolutely brilliant. This is a fantastic piece of horror content. If this was to be its own standalone game outside of Minecraft, it would sell like hotcakes. To start off this map, before we even get into the mountain caves to rescue our friends, there is a short 30-second scene of us, the player, using a crowbar to take boards off of an entryway into the cave system. Usually in Minecraft, you hit the boards with the crowbar and they disappear. It's simple, I've seen it a ton of times, it gets the job done, and you really don't give it a second thought. But the fact that significant time was spent doing this scene really shows the kind of detail and attention that this map maker gave to their creation. Now, the reason I have this map so high up on the list is because there's a genuine understanding of terror in this map. I was not scared when I played this map. I was unnerved. My resolve to not quit this map was tested. I wasn't scared. I've been scared. I was terrified. Firstly, in the beginning of the map, the use of the monsters is restrained, really building the anticipation in horror. You know something is coming. You're just not sure what. When the monsters are finally revealed, you can't kill them. You can't attack them. Hell, one of the monsters you can't even look at directly or it's game over. Your only options are to run, sneak, or hide. The monsters cannot be engaged with, they can only be avoided, and that's brilliant. I'm going to set a scene for you. After surviving an elevator breaking down, which was no pleasure, I wish it would have just killed me, it is revealed that there is a monster in the dark. If you run by it or look at it, it's game over, you're dead. The only sign that it is near is its breathing, and you can hear it off in the distance in the dark. The map maker understands that it is more terrifying to let your brain come up with what it thinks the monster looks like than to actually show you what it looks like. It is such a good use of dark environment, sound, and fear of the unknown that I actually texted my buddy to tell him I didn't think I could finish this map because I didn't want to face what was in the dark, and the sounds the creature was making was far too unsettling. As I stated before, this map understands terror. Number 2, Antithesis by Mr. Keisel. You are the Antithesis, armed with a deadly arsenal of stolen limbs of angels, and your unmatched agility, rise against the machine overlord. Fight through desolate ruins, broken cities, melted hell, liminal warrens, and bring down the heavens where the device lurks. Spare no one. Do not falter. Be not afraid. This map can be summed up in one word: brutal. Everything about this map is brutal. The story, the builds, the combat, the bosses, all of it. What this map maker has built is one of the most brutal, unrelenting, and unforgivable maps I have ever played. The map's story alone makes Doom look like a lovely stroll through the daffodils. This game is broken down into levels, which you must clear of mobs, and brother, they are not happy you exist. The game has some of the fastest paced gunplay I have ever seen. It's very inspired by Doom, but the dial has been cranked to 12. You move fast in this game, or you die. You must do everything fast. If you're killing an enemy, do it fast. If you're running for your life, do it fast. If you're diving for cover, do it fast, because the enemies are going to kill you at speeds you've never seen. There are over 15 different enemies in this map, and they killed me in new and imaginative ways. To combat these abominations of machines, you are provided with 5 different weapons to use. What I really liked was that each of the weapons did serve a purpose. So through the course of a combat engagement, you would find yourself rapidly switching through all of your weapons to achieve success. The other really cool aspect of combat in this map is that the only way to get health back is to get health packs, which only drop from enemies. I think it's really a great mechanical choice to make it so that the only way of saving yourself from dying is not by running away, but charging headlong into the hordes and hoping you make it out on the other side. The builds in this map really did a good job of relaying how oppressive this world is. There is no happiness, there is no sun, there is nothing that relays any goodness in this world. There is only what the machine god determined is minimally necessary. It's brutal. From the time I started playing this map to the very end of it, it was a non-stop, adrenaline-fueled, one-man crusade to go and kill the final boss. No map has ever dumped that much adrenaline into my system before. Before we take a look at our top spot, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Star Wars Remnant Knights by Bloody Duckers. Do you have what it takes to defeat the Sith Lord? Will you become a Jedi and fight dark forces? Or will you succumb to the dark side and use your powers for evil? The choice is yours. Here we are at our number 1 spot, and in a year with a plethora of quality maps, I knew as soon as I played this map, it was going to take the number 1 spot. When doing a map based off of an existing intellectual property, or IP, it is important to nail the look and feel of that IP, or it's going to fall flat on its face. I'm super pleased to say that from the time you escape capture aboard the Imperial Cruiser, to the time you confront the final boss, this is a Star Wars map. It captures the aesthetic perfectly. The story I could see being a legitimate Star Wars story cooked up by George Lucas himself. Everything about this is Star Wars. The builds of this map are fantastic, and look like something ripped right out of Star Wars. Tatooine looks like Tatooine. Kashyyyk looks like Kashyyyk. Everything is built with such love, care, and attention to detail, it would pass inspection of the most hardcore of fans. The worlds are great, but how do we, the player, affect them? More than you know. For one, there's a morality system running in the background. As you behave more like a Sith or more like a Jedi, it impacts what Force abilities you have access to. I would personally recommend picking a path and sticking to it. I would randomly be attacked by factions that I had upset by my actions. The world seems alive. It feels like thousands of years of galactic history has happened before you got there, and thousands more would happen long after you left. There's shops to explore, side quests to complete, recipes to craft, lightsabers to assemble, force powers to unlock, unique dungeons to crawl, amazing boss fights, a huge open world that is populated with amazing things to do. Even though there are all of these things to do, it was introduced at such a perfect pace that I was never once overwhelmed. I always had a task to complete. There was always a goal for me to reach towards. The boss fights and combat were highly enjoyable. It is a traditional Minecraft combat, but the added layer of Star Wars to it really elevated it. At one point, there was a whole legion of stormtroopers that was thrown at me, and I had to go make them not exist anymore. And it was awesome wielding my lightsaber and going on this power fantasy, destroying these stormtroopers. Everything that this map set out to do, it did exceptionally well, and I would encourage you to go play this map as soon as you can. Well, that's my list. If there are any maps that you think should have made this list, or if the order of the maps should have been different, or if there are any maps that you'd like me to play in the future, please let me know in the comments below. A huge shout out to my buddy Andrew for mixing my audio and making me not sound like crap. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.